Rapper Fetty Wap has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for drug dealing at the height of his fame. The rapper, whose real name is Willie Jr. Maxwell II, has been in custody since last August, when his bail was revoked after threatening to kill a man over FaceTime and brandishing a gun at him. So to clarify that last point, good old Fetty Wap was having a chit-chat with a friend of his, or perhaps ops, and Fetty Wap decided to pull out a gun and to threaten the life of the other person that he was talking to, and he was talking to that person over FaceTime, meaning a video chat call, which I understand was recorded, and that, along with other evidence, has gotten Fetty Wap into a spot of bother. He's gone through a trial, he's been sentenced to 6 years in prison for drug dealing, and the threatening to kill someone didn't really help. Going back to the article, Fetty was accused of conspiring to possess and distribute more than 100 kilos or 220 pounds of heroin, fentanyl, and crack cocaine. That's quite a lot of narcotics, and extremely dangerous narcotics. All of those: heroin, fentanyl, crack cocaine. I mean, this is dangerous, I'm going to say murderous stuff. And he's accused, or he was accused, of conspiring to possess and distribute more than 100 kilos of those drugs, heroin, fentanyl, and crack cocaine, between June 2019 and June 2020 across Long Island and New Jersey, so across 2 states, over the course of a year, coinciding with the COVID pandemic, lockdown, and all of this kind of thing. Fetty was thinking to himself, oh, you know what, I've been a really successful rapper, I've got this hot career going on, I'll now all of a sudden switch to becoming a drug dealer on a massive scale. Quite literally what he thought. You know, he went for the money. Why did he want to do that? For the money. And seemingly he acquired quite a bit of money. He's believed to be worth up to around $10 million. He owns 37 cars, 10 mansions, something like that. You know, he's got money. Back to the article, Fetty was one of 5 charged in the case and is reported to have personally dealt 25 kilos of drugs across the Garden State. So I believe New Jersey is the Garden State. Here's a quote from Fetty Wap. I hurt my community, people who look up to me, my family and myself. I am truly sorry for any pain I caused. So he's showing remorse. Can we believe that remorse? I'm going to say probably not, because it's so easy to say these things. You have a defense lawyer saying, hey Fetty, you know what? You go into the studio, you spit some bars. Today you're going into the courtroom and I want you to lay down some lyrics. Yeah, here's the song you're going to be singing today. You're going to be singing a song of remorse, Fetty. All right, think you can manage that? So I don't know if we can take this apology to be in any way authentic. Perhaps it is, but we got no way of knowing. The rapper appeared at the federal court in Central Islip, if I pronounce that correctly, Central Islip, New York, where he received a sentence of 6 years, 1 year longer than the minimum. So not a huge sentence, really. He's been part of a gang, part of a criminal organization that distributed more than 100 kilos of hard drugs, heroin, fentanyl, and crack cocaine. He's been responsible for at least a quarter of that amount directly himself personally, and he's getting what I would say is a pretty soft sentence. 6 years in jail, 1 year more than the minimum. It's not good enough. I like Fetty Wap. I listen to hip hop, and I don't know all of Fetty Wap's tracks by any means, but there are a couple. So I don't have a vendetta against the guy by any means. I feel a little bit sorry for him, but probably just because, you know, I've got some awareness of him I'll say on a personal level. I don't mean that literally, but you know, we see him in his videos, we're aware of his music, we've had some level of admiration for his talent, but he put so many people's lives in danger by supplying them, selling them with these extremely dangerous drugs, heroin, fentanyl, and crack cocaine. Could we ask how many people did indeed die due to the narcotics supplied by Fetty Wap? We don't know the answer, but we can guess. I mean, my guess is as meaningless as yours, but we do know that there's a heck of a lot of deaths in regards to fentanyl. There are many more lives destroyed by getting addicted to these drugs, losing one's mind, losing one's health, slipping into prostitution, slipping into burglary and other types of crime to get enough money to be able to buy the next hit. We're hearing of fentanyl deaths left, right, and center. So I would guess, my guess would be that Fetty Wap is directly and immediately responsible for the deaths of, at least several people would be my guess. At least several. Who knows? But it could be dozens. And he's receiving a sentence of 6 years. So what is that gonna tell other people that have the opportunity to deal drugs? It's gonna tell them, hey mate, if you deal drugs, you could stand to make a stack load of money in a short period of time. These guys pushed 100 kilos within a year by the look of it. This was a profitable criminal organization, supplying the market of 2 states, or just a part of the market, sure. So it's telling other people that have exposure to being able to become a drug dealer, hey look mate, if you deal drugs, you can make a stack load of money. If you get caught, you're only going to get 5-6 years. Don't worry about it, mate. Come out of the penitentiary, jump in your Bugatti, you're all good. The judge also sentenced Fetty Wap to 5 years of post-release supervision. But what the heck does that mean, you know? Alright, so he gets out of jail and he's going to be receiving a phone call once a week or something like that. What does it matter? The point is, by dealing, distributing, supplying drugs of this kind in such quantities, he exposed many people to losing their health and losing their life. Post-release supervision, I mean, it might as well just not be there. I mean, so what if he goes completely clean afterwards? 6 years isn't really justice. So the judge made some comments during the sentencing. Here's a quote from the judge. Despite your background and all you overcame, you threw it all away. So yeah, Fetty Wap is blind in one eye due to glaucoma, I believe. I'm gonna guess he's come across other tribulations through his life. Perhaps he's from an underprivileged background. I don't know. A lot of rappers are, or say that they are. But he did achieve a lot. You know, he became a leading rap star. Didn't necessarily have a long career. Things might have fizzled out pretty quickly. I think they did. But regardless, he was, and still is, like a known entity, very much admired by hip-hop rap fans and those within the industry. And he did indeed throw it all away. Chasing greed, chasing more money. So we're told that Fetty Wap was initially arrested in October 2021. He was charged with participating in a drug smuggling conspiracy involving heroin, fentanyl, and other drugs. The scheme involved using United States Postal Service and cars with hidden compartments to transport drugs from the West Coast to Long Island. Once in Long Island, the drugs were stored for distribution to dealers both in Long Island and in New Jersey. So to me, that's a pretty sophisticated setup. He was in a gang. The 5 others were charged, I believe, or 5 were charged in total. But I would imagine that more people were involved. It seems like he was given the keys to the castle. He was given the blueprint on how to run quite a sophisticated, or be a part of quite a sophisticated drug distribution setup. We're told that as part of the investigation, police seized $1.5 million in cash and multiple weapons from a series of homes. Fetty Wap pleaded guilty to a top charge of conspiracy to distribute and possess controlled substances pertaining to cocaine. So he's admitted guilt, and that charge carried a mandatory minimum sentence of 5 years in prison. That's too low, isn't it? Why are you allowing your drug dealers, cocaine drug dealers, that distribute those drugs, so, you know, they're out there selling the drugs on an ongoing basis, if they get caught, their sentence could potentially be sentenced to as low as 5 years in prison. Why are you doing that? Why don't you lock them up for longer? One answer could be because of the high cost of incarceration. I mean, I'd go with that. That's a pretty solid reason. I don't know if it's solid enough. No wonder you're losing the war on drugs. Prosecutors had argued for a longer term, claiming that Fetty Wap used his celebrity status, including his song Trap Queen, which is his big breakout song, to push and glamorize selling drugs to young people. Okay, so prosecutors wanted Fetty Wap to serve more time in jail because his music glamorized drug dealing and drug using. And I think that's a very fair point, frankly. Again, I'm a hypocrite. I listen to hip hop. I like watching the music videos. I know a lot of the music videos are about gangbanging, about dealing with drugs and killing your ops. I get it, but I enjoy it for whatever reason. Now, I'm not about to become a gangbanger. I'm not about to go out shooting the ops or dealing drugs myself. It's not really going to be a direction I'm going to take in life. But there are other younger, more impressionable, more desperate, more vulnerable people that are exposed to gangs much more than I have been, and that could be drawn into gang life because it's portrayed in music videos and in the music itself as being fun, cool, brave. You know, I grew up listening to The Doors to an extent, you know, and that was fun, cool, brave, getting drunk or getting high or whatever. But the music of hip hop largely, not exclusively, but largely is influenced influencing people to admire and some to get involved in the drug dealing lifestyle. So I kind of agree with that. We're also told that Fetty Wap owns 37 cars, 10 houses, 14 apartments. He had $2.5 million worth of jewelry in 2021. His net worth is believed to be between $1 and $10 million. So this is an incredibly rich man, and he has thrown it all away in the hopes of getting even more money. I'll be realistic. One question I have is it true that Fetty Wap only just started getting involved in drug dealing in 2019? I mean, because frankly, I don't believe that. I would guess that he attained quite a large amount of his wealth through drug dealing prior to that, and it just so happened he got caught and he was able to plead guilty for that 1 year period of illegal activity. But my guess would be that he's been doing this for a long time. You know, the gang that he was a part of was very sophisticated by my estimation. Maybe my estimation's wrong, but using the United States Postal Service's cars with hidden compartments, transporting the drugs from the West Coast to Long Island, dealing with 100 kilos. That's what the police know about. What do the police not know about? 100 kilos of fentanyl, crack cocaine, heroin. This is sophisticated stuff. And anyone in a career, and drug dealing is a career, you don't get to the tippity top on day one. Yet seemingly we're kind of being told here that that's what happened to Fetty Wap. He woke up one morning in 2019. The lockdown was happening. He thought to himself, you know what? F this successful rap career that I've got that's given me millions of dollars worth of jewelry and multiple cars, multiple homes. F all of that. I want to get more money by becoming a drug dealer. Oh, look, all of a sudden I've got a sophisticated distribution network set up. I mean, come on, pull the other one. Anyway, there we go. Fetty Wap sentenced to 6 years. There's no mention of parole. There's no mention of an appeal. I guess there won't be an appeal because he's pleaded guilty. So we're not going to be getting any more mixtapes or singles or albums from Fetty Wap for a while. That's okay, I'll get over it. Frankly, he's gotten lucky to only receive a sentence of 6 years in my mind. But there we go. That's as much as I can comment on, I guess. So I'll wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. Consider joining my memberships if you do watch multiple videos, if you'd like me to continue, and take care.